hello, and welcome to the Let Us Talk podcast show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, Miss Chicha, aka the Boss Lady.
And I'm D.O.C.
Join us for our weekly conversations about life, marriage, and everything else. Get to know us, get to love us. This episode is sponsored by Cigar Junkie. Check out Cigar Junkie Apparel at cigarjunkie.com. Also sponsored by CJS Educational Services. Sponsorships are also available, so hit us up if you want to become a sponsor of the podcast show. Before we get started with anything, we have a few shout outs we want to give. So I'm going to pause for a second and let the D.O.C. speak.
Yeah, so I just want to give shout outs. I just had my birthday this past weekend, so I want to thank all of y'all out there for all of the birthday wishes, the birthday love, and all of those gifts and whatnot. And I really enjoyed myself. Had an opportunity to go to Vegas to enjoy all of the Super Bowl festivities from that Wednesday to that Monday. And I can tell you that Vegas really turned up. So those 49ers fans were fucking annoying, but other than that, it was a great time. It was really crazy to see them lose, and I mean, because it was probably easily, I would say 7 out of 10 fans were 49ers, because the Bay is only a 4-hour drive from Vegas. So, and I lived out in the Bay a couple years ago, and those folks are pretty, very, 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 very aggressive with their fan, being fans. But other than that, everything was cool. We got to see a lot of different celebrities and all of that good stuff like that, and enjoy all of the festivities from all of the different parties that we went to.
You remember the celebrities you saw?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, you saw like Lil Boosie, 21 Savage.
Let me ask
Eddie
you this:
George.
Who was the one celebrity that you was happy you actually got to see while you were in Vegas?
I mean, none of them.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really big into the celebrity.
I guess he doesn't
thing.
get starstruck or anything that. Well, I thought he liked the Eddie George when he met Eddie George.
But I didn't get starstruck.
Well, I ain't saying starstruck. I'm just saying, was it a celebrity that anyway?
The only nigga I would get starstruck, and I met Michael Jordan before, and I didn't get starstruck with him. That nigga asked me what cigar I was smoking. I met Eddie George over cigars.
Okay.
So it was always cigars.
Okay.
But anyway, birthday shout out, birthday love to everybody out there. Vegas was a beautiful, great time, and other than that, that's it. So appreciate everyone for everything that they gave me and showed out. So thanks.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say happy birthday to all the Aquarius. It's a lot, and just big shout out to the D.O.C. for being here to record this week's episode. So we're gonna get right into it. It is Tuesday, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day. We're gonna get right into our hot topic, and everybody been talking about this since Sunday, and so you already know what that hot topic is. But we're gonna talk about Usher and Alicia Keys, the whole ordeal. So, what did you think about this halftime performance, and kind of what did you think of Usher's and Alicia Keys' part in that whole halftime performance with her thick-looking self? But
yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it was a great game. The game was really good. A lot of people complained about the first half, but if you watch football and you understand sports, as me and my cousin was saying, we were watching, they out here balling. These niggas out here balling. And so that was a great defensive game. So it really wasn't boring to me. That's how these were the two best teams. And so the game to me was really good. The game was long, but that was because it was the overtime. And I had good because I hit my bet. I took took KC with the points and the under. So I was cool with that. Not a KC fan, but I mean that's where the money was at.
Overtime.
But anyway, I thought the game was good. But to the Usher thing, I thought the performance was. I would give it a B plus. I think he started off kind of like slow with the first part, because he wasn't really on a platform. He was like on the ground performing, and it was like shit that you see in any Usher video. It wasn't nothing spectacular that really stood out to me. And so when he got to the middle half of his performance, and from then on, it was cool. I thought it was good, but I don't think it was one of the top 10 performances ever. Nothing like that. There's a lot of other performances before it. And but anyway, with the Alicia Keys thing, that's what we want to talk about. First, before we get into that, the nigga roller skated, and ain't nobody brought up the fact that nigga roller skated under a grown man's legs with his tongue out. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that was all about. Going backwards and slid up under the nigga legs,
roller
man.
derby.
So
I guess
I
trying
don't
to get
know.
that roller derby vibe.
But anyway, with the Alicia Keys thing, I think that my initial reaction was, damn, Alicia Keys is thick as hell in that red dress.
Yes.
And so, but I think that with her being a married woman, I thought that it was a little bit aggressive on his part. But this is the thing. I think she knew about it. She may not knew to the extent of how he was going to sell the sexuality with it. But all of that is scripted. Everybody knows after what happened with Janet Jackson years ago that that everything that the NFL does now with the halftime, I mean, literally every second is scripted. So they would have known that he was going to do that with Alicia Keys or what have you. But he could have made it up at the last minute. He could have
went too far with it.
He could have made it up at the last minute, just like Snoop Dogg did when he crip walked and when he also had the flag hanging out his thing. So, but my thing is that I think that she shouldn't have did it. He shouldn't have did it. I think he honestly went over the line, and that to grab her like that from the back, he shouldn't have just did. I think it was out of pocket. It was a little bit overly aggressive, especially for a woman that's married, and everybody knows that she's married to Swiss Beats. So I just think that it was bogus on his part. But he did give a disclaimer at the beginning that he can end relationships or cause problems with relationships or some shit like that. So he gave a disclaimer, and so for me, that was just all part of it. And then they're doing exactly what we wanted them to do, and we're talking about it. And so that's good or bad, the publicity is what they wanted. And I'm sure he has a new album coming out, and she has probably some material coming out. Who knows? And so, but for me, I think that he shouldn't have did. It was a little bit overly aggressive or what have you. So yeah. I would have a problem. Like if I see that nigga do that to my girl, my lady, my wife, shit, I was there. Shit, we gonna see how good that nigga security is. That's all I got to say. We gonna see how good his security is.
Now, I would say this. Initially, I was just like, oh wow, okay, that. I think if it was, I don't know. I think it was just the whole motion of how he came behind her, and definitely once he threw that hand around that waist. You could tell, like, looked like she kind of went back a little bit. I was just like, okay, that is a little aggressive. But I'll tell you this: if you look at all of his shows that he does in Vegas, this is generally a common pattern where Usher gets frisky or extra frisky, whatever the hell you want to call it. We see this all the time. So for Usher, he may think that shit normal, that it is okay to go grab on a woman, because he's done it to other women at his shows. He's done it to other wives at his show. I mean, look at the whole Keke Palmer, her boyfriend thing. They're not even together anymore, I don't think, off that shit that kicked off with when she went to the show. Now, she ain't Alicia Keys, but it's still that same pattern. I do think that he needs to learn how to kind of bag it up just a little bit, I think.
But I guess we'll see. I mean, I have tickets to his show when he comes out this way, so I'm gonna check him out and see what he do there. So it is what it is.
Let's see. Was there anything else? Did you like Ludacris, Jermaine Dupri? Was it anything else that struck your attention about?
I mean, the only thing that really that I liked about it was more so outside of the performance. I think really with the message that they sent. And that's that Atlanta really sticks together. And it's really good to see young black folks really out there, giants in their game, in their industry, sticking together. But it's part of the Atlanta culture. If you know anything about Atlanta and went from Atlanta, when I say the culture, I'm not talking about something recent. I'm talking about shit that predates way back almost Reconstruction days. So I'm getting historical with people, but there were black businessmen that made it a point that they closed ranks and created institutions and systems and platforms for black people to not only exist but to persist, not only to survive but to thrive. And out of that, they've gotten this whole mentality and this culture, and so you see it reflected in the music. That's why Atlanta is at the height of its game. That's why they've taken over. That's why it's now the mecca of Black America, because Black people can go down there and really become giants of industry, and it's shown because these guys are all able to bring all of that together and collaborate and have not only celebrate hip hop and rap culture and Black culture, but also particularly put it on Atlanta on display. So that's one of the things that I got out of it.
Okay. Well, I think overall, good halftime show. I don't think it was one of the best ones. I think Timberlake, when they did theirs, it's a lot of other ones, but it was good. It was.
My top three would be Michael Jackson, because he the one set it off.
Michael Jackson.
Then I probably would put Dr. Dre second, and then Prince. People put Prince because I think they just biased to Prince, but I'm looking at the actual performance. Now, Prince's performance was dope. Don't get it twisted. Because I believe Prince performed in the rain. I think it actually rained during his performance. So, but nonetheless, those are my top three. So, Prince, Michael Jackson, and then Dr. Dre, and then, of course, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, only because the titty popped out. So, but it was dope, nonetheless.
It was. I would definitely say, yeah, I probably agree with those three. So, but I'm just glad that Super Bowl was fun. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and we're going to keep it pushing with another hot topic. So, Valentine Day, something that I recently just heard about. Really didn't know what that concept was, so I actually had to look it up. And it says that it is a celebration of female friendship that actually takes place on February 13th. And it actually the terminology came from a TV show, Parks and Recs. I never watched Parks and Recs, but I guess family came from this TV show, and now it's popular. So now you see a lot of pictures where there's a bunch of females. I don't know if they're single, but a bunch of females together celebrating that. So my question for you is, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is just a trend? So I got a question.
So do they celebrate it on actual Valentine?
No, it's February 13th. You celebrated February 13th.
The day before.
Yep, February 13th. Is when it's observed.
People just come up with just dumb shit. I mean, that shit is just dumb. I mean, I see when girls get together, there's a bunch of single bitter bitches who want to get together and dog niggas and what they done did to them and all that old bullshit.
How do you know it's just them dogging somebody and not empowerment?
What they doing? They doing vision boards while they taking shots of Don Julio? Fuck out of here, bro. Smoking and hitting them, rolling backwoods and listening to motherfucking Sexy Red. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Well, a lot of women celebrate it. You will see a lot of pictures of it. It is something
Valentine. I had seen that shit. I didn't know what it was. I really had no idea.
I didn't either. Apparently, in season 2, episode 16, this is what came about. A bunch of girls celebrating women empowerment, all of this such, and it is celebrated on February 13th.
I guess guys, when we do it, we go to the strip club or the ball game or the cigar lounge.
Hey.
I don't know why people need a special day to do that.
I don't think you necessarily need a special day, but I think if you got good friends, y'all always have Valentine's Day, because every time you go out with your girls or you have a monthly dinner, things like that, I try to have a monthly date with my female friends. So I don't think it needs to be hype. I think it's just another trend. So okay, we're gonna leave that alone then. No Valentine's over here. So
I guess the guys do it. We get up for 17 weeks from August until the middle of February for football. Smoke cigars, drink good bourbon, scotch, and partake in life.
Okay, I'll take that. Today's show have a very creative title. Valentine's Day is for suckers is our title for today's show. I think we just had to touch on this topic with tomorrow being actual Valentine's Day. And so I'm just gonna get right into it. Just kick it off. So first thing, do we actually celebrate Valentine's Day? And if we do, why? And if we don't, why? And get your half of that perspective.
So are you asking yourself a question in the third person?
I'm asking you.
That was
do you celebrate Valentine's Day?
That's what you should have said.
Or do you celebrate Sweetest Day?
That's not how you ask the question. That's kind of weird. But anyway, just what are my thoughts on I personally have really, I've never really celebrated Valentine's Day. It's something that I've never really believed in. I think it goes way back to when I was in college. One of the young ladies I was dating, she wasn't just a big fan of Valentine's Day, so it kind of got me off the hook on getting gifts and cards. Because for one, she thought the cards were just cheesy and stupid.
Oh, wow.
She was into letter writing and things like that. She was a big writer, and then so she thought cards were dumb. And chocolate, she didn't like chocolate, so that was stupid. And then she was like, we all broke college students, so why expend all this money for this? And we always went out to eat. We used to, that was one of the things we did. So it was just like, it was a waste. It was a waste. So I got into the habit. And then once I found out a lot of the cultural significance and history behind Valentine's Day, it was another reason why I didn't, celebrate it, because it was against, whatever I believed in at the time. So I'm not a big thing. And then personally, I think that it's just a way to get money. Sucks people into this whole consumerism and materialistic sort of mindset. People just buying shit to buy shit. The same restaurants that you went to only any other normal day, you can't get in. And then even if you do get in, the service is shitty, the food is shitty, not because it's just happen to be shitty, it's just because they're overwhelmed, the staff is overwhelmed, the kitchen is overwhelmed, and so just the quality goes down. So for me,
it's just as bad as Mother's Day.
Yeah. So but you got to celebrate your mother. So and I don't think there's not even a.
It's not a comparison. I'm not saying that. So, what I'm saying is the restaurant.
But no, for me, Valentine's Day has always been like a big joke, a big thing created by folks just to get more money out of you, whether it be through cars, whether it be through restaurants, whether you be buying shit. And then, so I just always thought it was dumb. And so for me, I think guys that do that sort of thing are suckers to a degree.
Well, I would tell you this. I used to celebrate Valentine's Day when I was younger. When I was in high school, I did. You got the little teddy bears, you got the little car, you got the little soda can,
I didn't do
whatever.
That shit then.
We did that back in high school. Okay. So I would say this: Jimmy is the first person that I dated who just was like, I don't really do Valentine's Day. So that was kind of like my first person I dated that actually was just like, I don't really do all that. Now when he explained the whole backstory about it, I was like, okay, I kind of could dig that. And I'll be honest, once we started dating, we just kind of rolled with it. We never really put emphasis on it, because even when we were just dating, we made it a point to have date night, things like that. So to us, we were like, why put this pressure on each other to get up on this day and now you gotta go buy me jewelry and buy me gifts and I gotta go try to find something for him, if that even happens. Because this leads to my next question, because are men even valued on Valentine's Day the way women are? Yeah. Because I tell you this, when I worked at Walgreens on 25th and Grant, Valentine's Day was like the worst day, because you had men in there trying to buy gifts and cards for the woman, the side woman, the side woman, the third woman, and it was just crazy. But you didn't see a lot of women coming in the store looking for cards, candies, flowers, all that for their men. So are men valued the same?
So before we get to that, I think that guys should be, at the minimum, in a relationship. If you've been with a woman, I would say a year or longer, you should be in the habit of taking her out at least once a month. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. We ain't talking about, Maestros, Ruth Chris, Eddie V's, nothing shit like that. But it could do that. You can switch it up, or it could be something simple as going getting a sandwich or something like that. But a guy should at least take a young lady out at least once a month. Like, so you don't have, and then constantly always showing tokens of appreciation throughout the month. They should do that. So, but yeah, are men valued? No, they're not valued, because they created another day called Sweetest Day. I believe is in October. I don't know what day it is. I think it's a second or third Saturday in October, and I think that day was traded for men to be celebrated like they do women for Valentine's Day, and we see motherfuckers forget. They give nigga a shot of head, which a nigga, as I told before, should be getting that consistently. But he may get a shot of head on. So yeah,
women, they saying you can't give pussy and head as a gift for holidays,
but that's what they
birthdays,
do.
Anniversaries.
So it's straight bullshit. So of course, men are not valued the same way that women are on Valentine. It's all about the woman. So
I wonder who fought his day.
And then I even know
society's fault?
I even know people that put like what you call it, thresholds on the type of gifts that they should be getting. Like they have to get a gift that's like $500 or more. Like motherfuckers want Tiffany bracelets. They want motherfucking Gucci bags.
So you think there is extra pressure that couples put on themselves for Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day?
I would say more so couples that are new in the game. I don't think couples
seasoned,
meaning 10 years or more, I don't think they put that type of pressure on themselves. I think that's more so for newer couples, in which they have to like. And then now we live in this era of extreme materialism. People are focused on the money aspect, and then social media. So they want to show and compete with other people on I love my girl better than you. I got her 10 bouquet of roses. Well, this nigga when he got 15, it's just stupid ass shit, and people get caught up in it. So I've never gotten caught up in it. But hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I think it's fucking stupid. But what you should do, what I would advise somebody to do.
Because I was about to ask, what advice do you have for?
So what I would ask somebody to do, if you really wanted to give your girl something on Valentine's Day, besides hard dick and bubble gum, what I would do is give her something that she can invest in, something monetary. So there are a lot of places where you can invest. So the money that you was gonna take on dinner, on buying her a gift, $400-500 or something like that, you can go buy stocks in companies and gift that shit to her. So that $500, shit, in a year from now may be worth, I don't know, $1,500. I mean, it could go up and down, but if you get a reputable stock or something, there's a good chance it will give money. That's what I would do. I would give the gift of investment. That's what I would do.
Okay, gift of investment. Okay, that's different. That's out the box. But you would not, if I am a young female, or if you're a young couple, a young female may not be accepting of you giving her some stocks versus actual bracelets or jewelry or. And
what did I say last time? A deal breaker for me is a woman who's not focused on her FICO score and getting money.
There you go with the FICO.
For one thing, FICO score, FICO hoe.
You want a FICO.
If she's not focused on that, because that'll tell you right then and there. If you was to give a woman a gift like that, and based off her reaction, she reacted like, nigga, what is this? This is some goofy shit. You already know. Thanks, give me my gift back, because you can cash that shit back out. It ain't like you can't get a return
get
on
a gift back? You would take a gift back?
If she reacted like that, hell yeah, I would. The fuck is you talking about, man? Please.
You gonna take the gift back?
Shit. And if we wasn't got cut off the engagement, I want that ring back. What are you talking about?
I don't think I'm getting the ring back. Shit. Don't think you're getting the ring back.
All right.
You gave the girl the ring as part of your commitment to their relationship.
And now she don't want to do this, so give me my shit back.
But you bought the ring from me.
So my thing is, so you telling me you're gonna keep the ring that a guy proposed to you and you were engaged, and now the engagement is cut off. So you gonna keep the ring and do what? Cash that motherfucker in for cash money? So you telling me you supposed to get a fucking parting gift? What the fuck, man? You better give me that motherfucking ring.
No, when you say it like that, a
Don't-
parting gift.
Don't give me that ring and see that some of my female cousins gonna come holler at you. I got some female cousins that's gonna come holler.
Man,
Shit.
man, that's when the South Side come
Alright,
out. That's when the South Side come out.
You giving me that ring back.
Man.
You cut off an engagement, I want that ring
funny. That is hilarious.
back. Hashtag petty. I want my ring back.
That is hashtag petty. That's very petty. Going back, Valentine's Day is for suckers. Now, why you say Valentine's Day is for suckers, though?
Because, like I said, you getting caught up in the matrix with that shit. And what you're doing is you're engaging in this fake facade. You're not being who you are. And then, in a way, I truly believe it. It goes back to something I always saying, that you're engaging in transactional instead of transformational activities with your spouse. So once again, it's tricking and horn. So you got to give her a certain, because if you give her what she could a bullshit gift, now you got attitudes. Now this shit done backfired.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Now I can't. We can go to motherfucking Applebee's. You say I want no motherfucking Applebee's. I want hibachi from motherfucking Benny Hanna.
So when can a man? Because I saw we had this came up in one of our other episodes. So I just want to ask you. So when is it actually appropriate for a man to actually, as you say, trick? When is it okay for a man to trick on his woman? At what stage?
Man, are you listening? I just told you that a guy should be taking out his partner
once a month
at least once a month.
What I'm saying
and
is,
show tokens of appreciation throughout the year. That could be flowers, that could be jewelry, that could be a weekend getaway. It could be a combination of things.
But see, that's why I'm asking for clarification.
That's not tricking.
Okay.
But for me to give you something just because this day says I should give you something, that's fucking stupid. That's a sucker move.
Okay.
That's what I mean by that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. If you are, let's just say you're not married to me, you out here single, you got a couple of different women, you do the same for Valentine's Day for all you women if you got multiple women, or how do you do the same for all
They're
your
getting
women?
all the same thing. Hard dick
all on the same day?
Hard dick and bubble gum.
All on the same day?
Yeah, I got some juice.
So
for
which
that.
day is for the side chick, the 13th or the 15th? The day before or the day after?
The side chick?
Yeah.
She's always the day after. that bitch.
So I guess if you get your Valentine's Day
and
on
she
the
gets
15th,
nothing to eat, she gets 12 wings with extra lemon pepper.
So I guess,
We
ladies,
gonna Netflix this shit.
If you get a gift on the 15th and your guy was open and available on the 14th, you may be a side chick. You may be a side chick. They want to check that.
Yeah, and you getting a guy roll or Philly cheesesteak or some wings with extra lemon pepper.
I would hope you at least get some Chinese food. Damn, you said wings with lemon pepper. Anyway, Valentine's Day is for suckers. I want to ask you, what lasting tips do you have? Because this is the thing, and I just want to interject this little disclaimer. We are not marriage experts. We are not relationship experts. Anything we say is not coming from a clinical sense, medical sense. No, this is just from experience. And I tell you this, ladies. I know some ladies may be like, "Oh, that's crazy. She don't make her husband get her anything for because Valentine's Day." I've had those comments before said to me, like, "Jimmy don't get you nothing for Valentine's Day." And I tell you this, it's one of the few things that will cause any type of rift in our relationship. Like, we're not about to be upset. I'm not about to be upset with him on Valentine's Day because he didn't get me a certain thing. It takes so much more pressure off your relationship when you don't put things like that, demands on your relationship with these certain days. We don't celebrate Sweetest Day either. I'm going to be honest with you. We don't do either one. And neither one of us, we don't feel bad about it. We just keep it moving because we do it all the time. So it's just one of those things. But what lasting thoughts or what lasting tips would you have for people out there? I know you said make time for date night at least once a month.
Yeah, you definitely gotta. And when I say date night, like I said, one thing you don't do on a date night is don't go to the movies. Go to a place where y'all can interact and talk.
Yeah.
So don't go to a movie. I go to cigar lounge, have something to eat. play pool.
Don't take no first date to meet your family either. Don't do that.
Do what?
I just said don't take the first date to meet your family.
Why would they do that? What are you talking about, bro? You just like you talking. What are you talking about?
Keep going.
So anyway, just make sure you take some place where you can interact, man. And there's not what place where like the movies where you can't interact. And it doesn't have to be expensive, so you should do that at least once a month. Other things that I would say with this being Valentine's Day and you talking to people, especially people new in a relationship, guys, do not. And goes to a young guy I was talking to. I don't think guys should be asking a woman about the number of bodies. And there's some guys that disagree with me on that. And the reason why I personally don't think that you should, because they gonna lie to begin with. And so no one's ever gonna disclose that sexual activity like that. Because for a guy, one may be too many. So even if she's a virgin or something. So my thing is, don't ask about the bodies. I mean, it's really irrelevant. I wouldn't do that. The other thing is, I would tell people to do this, and some guys have problems with it, and women, just because of the way that we've been raised traditionally. But I think that couples, and I'm talking about committed couples, I'm talking about couples that live together. I ain't talking about boyfriend and girlfriend. They shit over here. I'm talking about people that actually live together. They should have a joint account.
Oh, yes.
They should have a joint account that has all of the financials in it. What I mean by that, you sit down, you figure out what are all of the bills that come through, the chargeables, and then you go from there. How much money is coming in? People need to disclose their credit scores, bankruptcies, debt, all of that type of weird shit that they got going on, student loans.
Because you can't hide it.
So, but with that being said, they should do that. They should sit down and do that. The other thing, it'll cut out a lot of problems. Women, and now when I say joint accounts, people still should have their own separate accounts.
Always have your own
account. So they should always have their own separate accounts. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, what do you think?
I definitely think make time for date night. I definitely think, and when I say date night, I'm not even talking about date night. Just make time for each other, however that is. If y'all have a favorite show y'all watch together, make time for that. Just make time for each other. Joint accounts, to me, that was the best thing that could have happened to our household. It just made everything just flow so much easier. And then I think with the joint account, it's also a thing about trust too, because you have to be trusting of that other person to let your guard go, and let people know about what's in your pocket and things of that nature. But it does work. It helps. Again, I say it again, it helped us a lot. We didn't start off with joint accounts. Now, don't get us wrong. We didn't start off with no joint account. We took years of putting things together, and it was just a headache, honestly. So it's just so much easier to do it that way.
No, what you saw was the shit wasn't working.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It's hard to pay household bills.
The flow of the money wasn't working until you had to put everything together and see what was what. So.
Yep. And ladies, there's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely men, and there's nothing wrong with that either. It don't make one any different than the other. I definitely say don't ask about no bodies. Yeah, don't. Past is the past. Let it go in the past. Unless there's something going on medically with a person that you may require the answer to.
But remember, like I said, my 1-to-5 ratio.
No, we going back to this.
She has 3 baby daddies.
Oh God, here we go with this again.
She's fucked at least 15 niggas.
Here we go again.
I'm just saying. If he has 3 baby mamas, he's fucked at least 15 women.
Here we go.
Over the course of that.
Here we go.
If not more. That's the minimum. So
yeah, we definitely
you just need to be cognizant of that. Instead of worrying about bodies, I'd be worried about the baby daddy ratio.
What's the baby mama ratio?
Oh, baby mama ratio.
You can go the other way too. It ain't just all the women out here getting kids and all that. It's a lot of men out here too that got a lot of baby mamas and they ain't doing shit. It's just as bad as the women. So
I would tell my daughter not to date a guy who had a baby mama.
It's stressful. I before Jimmy,
I would tell her.
The dude I date had
Let
a
alone
baby
having
mama.
2 of them, I would tell her you're absolutely nuts to date a guy.
Yes.
That has.
And it was drama. That. It's always gonna be drama when the kid's mama is involved. It's always going to be drama, and that is stressful in a relationship. Last thing, I would say, and this is something that you always refer to, and I think that with all this Valentine's Day stuff, just finding somebody who you like. And I think it leads to the whole concept that people date to their self-esteem. I think that when we look at couples and stuff like that, and going back to even last week when we were talking about not perfect, but perfect for me, I think that goes into with Valentine's Day, just being perfect for that person. Just be there. Don't put all this extra pressure on yourself. But people date to their self-esteem. Do you believe that?
Well, I heard this term. It was a friend of mine who actually who had told me this, because we were sitting around talking about, this is a girl, very professional, has a PhD, very attractive. You probably could get any man she wanted, literally, and always had problems with dating. Only dated black men, and she dated professional black men. She tried to do the regular street guy, I guess. That shit didn't work, and so I asked her, well, why was it? Why was your shit failing? And she says, Jimmy, people date based on their self-esteem. And I was like, and she says, even though I got all this going on outwardly, I really have low self-esteem. And because of that, those are the type of niggas that I attract. Mm-hmm. Niggas that feed into that, niggas that are no good for me, niggas that are gonna abuse me mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically. And that I attract that sort of thing. And so, for me, I always tell, so for people out there, you have to work on yourself. I always tell people that goes back to my whole discussion about being unapologetically yourself. Yep. In order to do that, you have to truly know who you are. And so, I see that in certain relationships with people, that they're attracting a person that just absolutely is the fucking worst for them. Yep. And it's actually,
they can't be themselves.
And actually the person is making them worse than what they were before that person came. Yep. And that's fucked up, that a person will make you go backwards. Like they do that with everybody that they meet. Yep. This is not something new. This is a pattern that they do. Yep. And so that's what I mean by people date based on their self-esteem. So people got to work on themselves. You have to work on yourself. I see a lot of shit in relationships on the book, on Facebook and so, and it comes from a lot of single women. That's why you got this Valentine bullshit. And they sit up and they dog niggas. They dog niggas all day. Dog niggas all day. And I'm like,
sometimes,
why you keep attracting the same type of bullshit niggas? Because deep down inside, despite all of your outwardly beauty and all of that you got going on, you really are struggling internally with yourself. And until you figure that shit out, then you know exactly what you're looking for in a male or in a partner or whatever you want to call it or what have you. And so that's for me what it is.
I say, and I'm taking this from Power season finale, when we talk about these angry women, dogging men and stuff like that. It's a manifestation of hurt. You have a lot of hurt women and males out here in the world who don't deal with the hurt before they jump into other relationships, and it keeps following them and it keeps hurting and hurting them and hurting them, and it's a vicious cycle. Oh, yeah. So I definitely agree with the D.O.C. when he says you have to love yourself. I can't give him 100 if I don't have 100 myself to give myself. It starts with me first. Okay. So, lasting thoughts on anything from today? Any lasting drips of knowledge from the D.O.C. before we...
Fuck Valentine's Day and save that money. And if you want to give her something, give her the gift of investment.
And my thing is Valentine's Day should be all the time, not just one day on the calendar. Neither should Sweetest Day. So with that being said, check us out, the Let Us Talk podcast show with the Boss Lady and the D.O.C. Each week on Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcast. Check out our Instagram page at Let's Podcast 23. We have a TikTok page. The Let Us Talk Podcast is our handle. Subscribe to our channel. If you want to be a guest, hit us up. And with that being said, peace.
Peace.
Cool.